Hi guys, it is Sunday, September 12th, 2021, and I'm here to do my FlashTube update. Um, yeah, August was an okay month. It was a pretty good month. Um, for once in my life, I was not sitting there on the last day of the month trying to finish my last zombie run mile, which is an achievement. Um, and so yeah, it was a pretty good month. I had to finish. I did some shopping. Um, So I have some WIPs and some stash and some plans and some general ramble, as I want to do. Um, so yeah, so we will start with my finish. Let's see if this works if I hold this behind it. This is Jane Austen by Modern Folk Embroidery. This is Real Comfort Jane Austen by Modern Folk Embroidery. And if you're familiar with the pattern, you know that it has an alphabet at the bottom. I did not do the alphabet because I don't have enough fabric. I've told this story several times already, but apparently when I started this project in 2020, I didn't think it was important to math before I started stitching. And, I thought the pattern was a lot smaller than it is, and so I'm like, oh, I got plenty of fabric. I don't need to math, I don't need to count or measure. I have plenty of fabric, it's fine. It wasn't fine. So I just did the top, and it's fine the way it is. Like, if you didn't know that there was supposed to be more to it, you wouldn't be able to tell. So it's fine the way it is. And I stitched it in BMC 934. And my buddy Vicky at Reading and Stitching, the director of Magical Stitches, camp director / headmistress at Magical Stitches, loves 934. It's her favorite color. Just go over to her floss tube and she'll tell you all about how she loves 934. All 50 some odd thousand stitches of it she's done this year. She really doesn't love it. She's over it. So that's my finish. This is my second finish for the year. And after Raspberry Homecoming. So yay! I finished it on Virtual Stitchers, which is always fun. So the next thing I have here is Victorian Village by Jammin. This is an old kit, 1993. I started it in 1994. This project is older than some of you. So here's what I have here for this project. For August and half of September. So remember that my plastic was cracking, and I said I was going to start on a new sheet of plastic for the remaining ornaments. Well, so here are the 8 ornaments that I did on this sheet of plastic. This is the plastic that came in the kit. And so I've finished all 8 of the ornaments that were on the sheet of plastic. They're stitched and backstitched. I cut these off to save the stress on the plastic to try to prevent it from cracking more. But in July and August, I think I may have backstitched some of this in July. And I backstitched this in July and August. When I went to see, speaking of Vicky and Reading and Stitching, when I went to see her in July, I did some of this sitting in the Arkansas airport waiting for my 2.5 hour delayed flight. And then I started on my new sheet of plastic. And so I did part of this house. This is the last house. So there's this, and then there's the lighthouse, and the church, and the school. And then I'll be done. So I've decided, this isn't my zombie run, of course, so I'm going to work on it every month. I'm going to try to get 600 or 800 stitches in it a month. Maybe more. Each ornament is about like between 800 and 1,000 stitches. And there's like 800 and some odd back stitches, because usually I can get 2 zombie run miles out of it. So, of course, when you're back stitching, you need 400 back stitches to equal 200 stitches. So I can usually get 2 miles and some change out of it. So I'm going to work on that for zombie run for September, October, November. I have a 5-day weekend at Thanksgiving. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So I think I'm going to focus on that weekend and see how much of it I can get knocked out by then. Because I would really like to finish this year. And I don't really have that far to go. So if I can get some good progress on it between now and then and concentrate on it at Thanksgiving, I might be able to knock it out this year. So that's Victorian Village. Challenges for next year and events for next year are starting to be announced and are starting to come out, and there's planning for next year going on. So I'm kind of at that point where I'm like, okay, I need to clear some of this stuff out because I want to do other stuff for next year. This is another one of these projects that I want to clear out this year. And this one, I don't know, you guys. I want to finish it this month. I said to myself, I'm going to do 9 zombie run miles on it and try to finish it this month. And then, of course, I promptly stopped stitching on it. Because, that's what happens. Which way does this go? This goes this way. Yeah, this goes this way. Okay. So, this is Quaker game board. And see how close I am to finishing it? See how little space is left at the bottom there? I don't have very far to go. I gotta fill in that space. There's, 11? I gotta fill in that one box there, and then there's 11 more boxes. I think there's 6 letters and 5 motifs. And I gotta do the diamonds. I gotta fill in the stitches inside the diamonds on the border. And I estimate that I have about 1,600 stitches left. And I'm like, if I pushed, I could do it this month. Of course, after I said that, I promptly stopped stitching on it, so I'm kind of putting the hurt on myself. But we'll see what happens. I would really like to finish this month, knock it off my list. I have some other stuff I want to replace it with, so it needs to go away. But I'm not really doing myself any favors. But this is a Quaker game board by Fabian Creations. It's so close to done. I posted it on my Instagram and said, this is just begging to be finished. And they're like, yes, do it! Okay, so these are the 2. So in July, I finished Raspberry Homecoming. So I got to pick a new piece for Zombie Run for finishing her. And then I decided that I was over Silver Moon Tea. And I changed her out because I just was not enjoying stitching on her. And every time it came up in the rotation for Zombie Run, I was like, ugh. So, I had an antidote, and I'm like, I'm gonna switch to Silver Moon Tea. So I got 2 new pieces in my zombie run, and this is the one that I picked to replace Silver Moon Tea. This is the fairy, Littlest Fairy by Selena Fennick, charted by Hade. My goal this year, my original goal is to finish this year. I don't think that's going to happen. My goal is to finish page 2, and this is where I am on it. So there she is. I've only done 200 stitches on her so far. But that's where she is. She's so pretty. I love her. I'm not really looking forward to all of this mushroom stem here in 762. Not really excited about that. But there she is. So I'm going to give her some attention at some point this month. Just back in here. And then the piece that I picked to replace Raspberry Homecoming is Living in My Beautiful Bag from Garan. This was the bag of the month from last August, I think. Let me try to show you a picture of this. That one. This is Moon Garden by Blackbird Designs. I'm stitching it before sending it off to Zeb. So I did, thanks to Uno and Semi-Sane Stitchers, I did 1,000 stitches on this month, or in August. I haven't touched it yet in September, but I did 1,000 stitches in August. So I finished the entire stem, and I did most of the flower. Funny story. So one of the Tuesdays that I went to work, in the office, I took this with me, and I finished this part of the flower. I had some work to do here at the bottom of the petals, and so I started working on the inside, and I'm working on it, and I'm going, this isn't matching up. Like, why doesn't it match? I'm going to show you why it doesn't match. And you're going to see a little bit of the chart. Maybe I'll cover some of it up. But I'll cover this part of it up. So, see this? It's right side up, right? Lettering is right side up. You can read it. So I'm like, oh, this is the way the page goes. And so I'm holding it that way, and I have it on my desk that way, and I'm stitching on it with the page right side up. And I'm like, but this isn't matching up. Like, the center of the flower, it didn't make any sense. And I'm like, how did I mess this up? Like, what did I do wrong? And then I looked at it. See that ABC is laying on its side? That's what I did wrong. The page is right side up, the chart is turned 90 degrees. And that's what I was doing wrong. So when I flipped the chart 90 degrees, it all matched up and it all made perfect sense. I know that I didn't mess up this flower that badly. So, yeah. So, that was Moon Garden. And, last year when I started her in order to get it into No New Starts, I kind of wasn't feeling it. It was the end of the year. I think it was like December 30th or December 29th, and the year was quickly closing. And in order to get it into No New Starts, you have to have 200 stitches in it by the end of the year. And so I was rushing to finish all the stitching that I needed to get. And I didn't have the energy. There were some pieces that I didn't actually put in No New Starts because I just ran out of energy. So when I started it last year, I wasn't feeling it because, I'm just trying to get it in. But now that I'm stitching on it, it's a nice stitch. It's not difficult, and the colors are pretty, and it goes, it goes fairly quickly, and so it's a nice stitch. And then the last thing that I stitched on, and by stitched on I mean I did 100 stitches on it last night. Last night, yesterday, not last night, but yesterday, of course, was the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attack, which is a horrible day in American history. And so Vicky at Stitch and Button started a SAL, the hashtag Remember 9/11 SAL. And she had started a design of the Twin Towers, of the New York skyline with the Twin Towers. I, of course, am doing No New Starts. I couldn't start anything. So what I decided to do was to stitch on A Stitch for Sweet Freedom by Lindy Stitches. Because it was started and it's patriotic and it fit kind of the theme of the SAL. So I only did 100 stitches on it. Like, I didn't do a lot. I did put it up for a daily 30 prompt though, so I'm gonna have to do some more stitches on it. But this is where I got. And all I did on it was I finished filling in this embroidery hoop up here. That's all I really did on it. And so today, when I go back to work on it again, I'm either gonna have to do I'm gonna have to decide what to do. But I'm either gonna have to do the stars at the bottom, or I'll start on the flag, because the easiest way to get from the writing to the flag, or the writing to the girl, is to start with the flag. So I will do that. So there that is. And that's what I stitched on. I did 14 zombie run miles, largely thanks to the Uno game in Semi-Sane. That's how I ended up doing 1,000 stitches on Moon Garden, because if you played Uno, you know that whip number 1 and whip number 3 got called a billion jillion times. If you were looking for whip number 2 to get called, you were kind of out of luck. Wait. Yeah. But whip number 1 and whip number 3 got a lot of attention. Whip number 4 got a little bit of attention. Whip number 2, not so much. So that was that. Plans for September. Honestly, September has not been a good month for stitching for me so far. The 100 stitches I put into A Stitch for Sweet Freedom last night were the first stitches I've done in a week. And I don't know what happened. Last Friday night, I was on Virtual Stitchers, and I was stitching on something. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I was stitching on. I was stitching on something, and it was fine. And then after that, I I didn't feel like stitching anymore, and I didn't stitch a week. And I would get on virtual stitches, and they're like, Laura, what are you stitching on? I don't know. My Quaker game board sat here all week looking pretty, but she didn't get any stitches. And I'm not going to finish her like that. Shockingly enough, she didn't stitch herself. So, um, so I'm kind of putting the hurt on myself with this, wanting to finish it. Plus having to finish my other miles from Zombie Run. So I'm going to have to get my button gear. Yeah. So for the rest of September, I really would like to finish Quaker Game Board. I'm going to have to hustle and finish the rest of my miles for Zombie Run and do the remaining stitches to get my prompt in on A Stitch for Sweet Freedom. I don't know. The prompts are 200 or 300. I don't know if I'm going to stop at 200 or if I'm going to go to 300. We'll see. But that's pretty much the plan for the rest of the month. Semi-sane this month doesn't have anything that I'm interested in participating in. So that's pretty much going to be the plan, is to finish Zombie Run and try to finish Quaker Game Board. I already know what I want to replace Quaker Game Board with, but I need to get it done. So, yeah. So, shopping. Ridiculous amount of shopping. Now, remember in July, I went to Arkansas, and Vicki and I went to the Silver Needle, where we met up with Cheryl, and we went to Cecilia's, where we met up with Sarah. And I spent buku amounts of money. I spent less than Vicki, but I still spent a lot. Yeah, and I've been home, and I'm still shopping and Stash and Load. Most of it has come from Stash and Load, in the buy-sell groups on Facebook. A little bit of it has come from Vicki at Stitch and Button, and from some other random places, but most of it is scrolling Stash and Load going, oh, me please, me please, me please. But I got some good stuff this month. I was kind of like, wow. I got some cool stuff. So, let me show you what I got. I got some good deals. So, this one was one that was in an album, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I think I was buying something else from the seller, and so I got this with it. This is Land of the Free by Little Leaf Designs. It says Land of the Free, Home of the Brave. And I think this is the other thing that I got from that same seller. This is Welcome Home by Stardust, which I'm not sure that I've ever heard of them before. But I got this because it reminds me of my friend, and I think next year when I'm allowed to start stuff, I'm going to stitch it for her and give it to her as a Christmas ornament. My poor friend lost her mom in July, rather suddenly. I feel so bad. Her mom was a friend of mine, so I was sad that she passed, but I feel so bad for my friend, because honestly, I dread the day that I lose my mother. So, to watch her lose her mother, and I feel so bad for her. And so I think next year I'm going to stitch this for her. She loves cats. She loves Christmas. And like this just screams her. So I'm going to try to do that next year and just finish it as a Christmas ornament. I went to the funeral. They had the funeral for her mother a few weeks ago, and I went and they did a slideshow. And there was a picture of me on the slideshow, and I remember the picture, but I forgot we had taken that picture. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And the guy I was sitting next to was like, is that you? And I'm like, yeah. And then later on in the slideshow, there was one of him in there too. Okay, so Then I got some, I thought I had 3 of these. Where's the other one? Oh, duh. Okay. So I got some Told in the Garden lavender and lace stuff. These are going to be hard to see. The pictures are not very good at all. My nose itches. This is Simple Gifts, and it's a bell pull, and you can probably barely see that. But the top of it says Simple Gifts, and it's one of her Amish designs. It's got a group of people, and it's got some, I think it's a garden, and it's got like a table setting and some other, or maybe those are quilts, and some vegetables, and some more quilts, and the woman at the bottom. So it's one of her Amish designs. And then this is called Family Treasures 2. And I think that will be prettier on a different fabric. So we're going to find a prettier fabric to put that on. Because this brown fabric that they use does nothing for it. So, and the verse says, I count the stitches line by line and watch the thread record the time. My eyes were strong. My hand was, what does that say? And filled with love above. I don't know. I can't. It's teeny tiny print. Oh, and filled with love made this for you. My hand was true. That's what it says. I count the stitches line by line and watch the thread record the time. My eyes were strong. My hand was true and filled with love made this for you. That's what it says. I deciphered all that. See how teeny tiny that print is? So, that's Family Treasure 2. I keep seeing this one come up on the Stash Unload groups, but there's a 1 and a 3, and I haven't seen those yet. But when I see them, I'm going to try to grab them. And then, of course, this is a very popular one. And there's a possibility that I already have it, but I don't think so. But this, of course, is Santa of the Forest. Very popular design. He's pretty. And then, what else did I get here? I got Garon Project Bag of the Month, which is gorgeous. And the bees are sparkly. Their wings have a little bit of glitter in them. And then the inside is sunflowers. I honestly wouldn't mind having a bag with this as the outside. Hint, hint, Ronnie. I wouldn't mind having a bag with that as the outside. Something fell. Oh, I see it. Okay. So, let's look at this one. I ordered from 123 Stitch because I made a mistake. There was a design that I wanted, and I thought it was in the JCS Halloween issue. So, I ordered the JCS Halloween issue from 123 Stitch. But of course, when you order from 123 Stitch, you can't just order one thing. No, nothing can travel by itself. So, while I was there, I ordered Evanora from Nora Corbett. And I I was gonna get the beads for her, but they didn't have all of the beads. Like, you know when you put stuff in your cart at 123 Stitch and it says out of stock, please remove from your cart. So I took the beads out, but I did get the Karen for her, the water lily. And this is the part that goes on her thing here and on her hat. And so I got that. And then let's see what else is under here. So, okay. So back to the JCS Halloween issue. The design that I wanted was not in the JCS Halloween issue. And so I was on Virtual Stitches and they're like, no, that design is in the October JCS magazine. So then I went to Barnes & Noble and I got the JCS magazine. And she's the one that I wanted. I thought she was in the Halloween issue, but she's not. So I got that. And both this one and the Halloween one, they have a lot of cute stuff in it. There were a lot of cute things in there. I'm not allowed to start anything, so I'm not going to be stitching them this year, but maybe next year. And then, like 5 years ago, I had ordered from Stitching Bits and Bobs. And we all know the story of Stitching Bits and Bobs. And so I had ordered 3 things from them. And one of the things that I ordered was the Cardinal Point Sampler by Long Dog. And so I don't remember what happened. I don't know if I got an email or, which would be shocking coming from them, but something happened and it was just taking forever. And I'm like, something must be back ordered. And I thought it was probably the Cardinal Points. So 6 months went by because Stitching Bits and Bobs. And I finally emailed her and said, can you please just send me what you have? Because it's been 6 months already. And so she sent it to me, and like 3 weeks later. And she sent me the Cardinal Points, and she sent whatever the other item was. I don't even remember. And the item that I didn't get, that she wasn't able to get, was this one. Warm and Wise. Because there's a series of these, and I had gotten the Marshmallow Sweets and the Peppermint Tweet. I had gotten those 2. And this was the one that I didn't have. And I was trying to get this one, but apparently she couldn't get it. So I saw it come up on Stash and Load. I'm like, oh, that's the other one that I don't have. I didn't know that there were 4 in the series, and the seller had the other one. The seller also had the Frosty Mug, so I got that too. So now I have all 4 of them. I limit the amount of Mill Hills I buy to some degree because, honestly, I don't reach for Mill Hills that often. When I reach for Mill Hill, it's usually because I've been in a stitching slump and I need a new start to get out of it. Like, if I'm looking for a new start, I don't go, oh, let me start a Mill Hill. Not usually. Usually I use it like I need a quick finish or a quick gift. I've done that too. But so I limit the number of Mill Hills I buy for that reason. Okay, what else is under here? I got fabric from Fortnite. This is the Subtle Samplers, and I don't remember the name. They were apologetic. This month's fabric didn't come with a tag because the tags didn't come in. I don't remember the name of it. I meant to look this up. Here's my app. It's called Percy. That's the name of it. It's called Percy. So this is the subtle samplers for August for Fortnite fabric. I love Fortnite fabric. I'm a little bit frustrated with the subtle samplers club, because most of the fabrics have been some shade that's barely not white. It's like barely gray or barely pink or barely something else. I've been a little bit frustrated with that because most of them, like, you can't tell the difference unless you put them together and you'll be like, oh yeah, that looks different. But when you see it by itself, it's like, oh, this looks the same as last month and the same as the month before and the month before. So I've been a little bit frustrated with that. Some of them, okay, there's, some of them I can see, okay, there's obviously a color here. But a lot of them I'm like, I love Fortnite fabric, but that has been frustrating. Okay. I have some stuff that I'm purposely saving to the end here. Okay, more project bags. Back to Vicky at Stitch and Button, who was doing the 9/11 SAL. She was doing a 9/11 SAL, so she has a 9/11 bag to go with it. These are available on her group. She makes these to order, so if you want one, they're $10 or $12 on her Stitch and Button group on Facebook, and you can go claim one. And the skyline is sparkly. And then I also got 2 more bags from her that I bought. I got dogs, wiener dogs, because why not? They're cute. And it just comes with the brown inside. And the bell pull is, I keep calling it a bell pull. It's a zipper pull. I do this every month. Every time I show these, I do this. The zipper pull is a little wiener dog. And I got the coffee bag. I think Vic has a coffee bag or 2 in just about every batch of bags that she does. But I think this is the only one that I've gotten. And there's the inside. And the zipper pull, not the bell pull, the zipper pull is a little cup of coffee. I was very good at the Garan sale. Garan had a bag sale yesterday and a bag sale in August, and I didn't buy any bags from either sale. They were also selling the exclusive chart that they got for their Halloween box, the Erica Michaels chart. They had some left over, and they put them on the website for sale on Friday night, and they were gone like in a minute. And I had gotten it, and I had paid for it, and I got an order confirmation, and I'm like, I think I got one. No, I got an email saying, we're sold out, we're refunding your money. So I missed out on that. But he did say they were going to be released for public sale next summer. So I'll get it when it comes out. If you haven't seen it, it's the Halloween Crossword. They unboxed the Halloween box 2 weeks ago. Today's September 12th, so like the last August video. We did an unboxing of the Halloween box, and EJ showed everything that was in the box. And they talked to Linda Stoltz, the designer at Erica Michaels, and they went through the whole project, and it was great. And I love the project, but I'm gonna have to wait till next summer to get it, like everybody else. I tried. Okay, so the last couple things that I have here are the things that I was most excited about this month. So on one of the groups that I'm in, and I'm not even sure what group it is. It's the sampler group, or I don't even know what group it is. They don't generally allow selling in the group, but this girl I think she's an admin in the group, is doing a fundraiser. I think she got some stuff from an estate, or she got some stuff from somewhere, and so she's doing a fundraiser. She's donating the money to Alzheimer's research. I think maybe in honor of her mother or something. So she has some memorabilia that she was selling, and she was selling them like at a reasonable price. Like it was higher probably than the regular, sales price, but it was still a good price. Like it wasn't like an outrageous out of print price. So she has several, and the only one that I either didn't have or was interested in enough to get was this one. I got Sleeping Beauty from her. So I think she also had Enchanted Dream. She had the Dreamer, and I don't know if she had a Fairy Idol, but she had several that I already had, or that I wasn't really that interested in. But I did get this one, or maybe they were already claimed. Some of them were probably claimed. But I got Sleeping Beauty. So she's pretty. She's just a big girl. She's 240 by 260. She's a big girl. So I will add her to my memorabilia stash. And then, so I've talked about this before. The Homespun Needlework and Cross Stitch group does exclusives with different designers. They've had one with Blackbird, and they had one with Lottie Da, and they had one with Stacey Nash, and they just recently did one with Hands on Design. This one, it wasn't that group actually. It wasn't that group. It was the Blackbird group. It was a Blackbird fan group. I did this one. I'm getting my groups confused. Those were all with the Homespun sampler. This one was with the Blackbird group. They did a deal with Traditional Stitches. And actually, I don't even think it was their deal. I think it was Traditional Stitches' deal that appealed to the members of the Blackbird group. And especially since Barb Adams has passed. So they had this exclusive design, and they did it in a limited run. They've been advertising it for probably 6 or 8 months. I don't know, but they did like 6 printings of it. And when they did the 6th printing, they said, this is going to be the last one. After that, it's going to be gone. We're not reprinting it. If you want it, you better get it. So I was like, I had kind of been debating. I was like, I don't know. But I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and get it. So, and when you go on there, they have the fabric and the thread, and I'm like, I don't want to spend all that money. Let me just get the chart. So, this is What Remains by Blackbird. And so, of course, it says What Remains is Love. I got that. Again, can't start it this year because no new starts. But maybe next year. One of my goals for next year is to do more Blackbird stitching. So, I got that. They have, Traditional Stitches had a thread pack from Fibers to Die For, which is by Amy Mitten, is the one who dyes those. And they had converted this. I thought they were charted for those, but they're actually charted for Weeks and Gast and Classic Colorworks. So, I did not get the Fibers to Die For, I just got the chart. And then, this design I've been after for a long time, and it's not hard to find, it's not out of print, I know where to get it, it's readily available, it's on the Scarlet Letter website, I know I just have to go over there and order it, I haven't done it, but it came up on Stash and Load, and I went and looked, and it was at a reduced price, and I'm like, good deal. So, I got it. There's still another sampler that I want from Scarlet Letter, but I haven't gotten it yet. But this one I did get. And this one I think is going to go on my starts for next year. This is Anne Grimshaw, 1818. And this is one of the first samplers that I saw when I joined the sampler group. And I think I think I like it because it's in black. I think I like the black and white. But it's this Aqua Quaker school sampler. And the model is stitched in black silk, and I think I'm going to try to copy that. And I don't know where I'm going to get the silk. I don't know if I'm going to get it from Silks For You. Getting stuff out of Australia at this point is impossible, next to impossible. Because of them, because of their government, not because of, America or anything. It's the Australian government has made that decision. Because of their COVID lockdowns and such. But there's Silks For You. NPI has, I'm sure they have black, but NPI is ridiculously expensive. I think Rainbow Gallery might have a black silk. I was told that Vicky Clayton might be able to dye one. So, we'll see. I'm going to figure it out, but I'd like to stitch her in black silk. So this is definitely going on my new start list for next year. So, that's all of the stash that I brought to show. I think I got some more stuff, but... Oh, no. I got one more thing. I lied. I was using it as the, to put behind my pieces. I just dropped that. Okay, so that's why it's at the bottom of the stack here, as I was using it to put behind my pieces. So I told the story in July that when I was at the Silver Needle with Vicky, they had the model of Prairie Schoolers Trick or Treat, and I tried to get the chart. They didn't have the chart, and so I saw it come up on one of the buy-sell groups, and I was like, me please. And then I was like, wait, how much is that? And I went and looked at the price, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of a lot. If I had looked at the price first, I might not have, I might have, thought a little bit more before I me please. And, and I said something, I messaged the seller my information, and I said something to her about it, and she's like, well, you don't have to buy it if you don't want. And I'm like, no, it's fine, because I'm like, it was a little bit high, but it wasn't like outrageous. It wasn't like $200. It was like, and then I looked at it again, and I realized I really didn't look at this listing very well, because it came with a chart, which is a reprint. It's not cardstock, it's paper. But there's the trick or treat chart. But it also came with a little pair of witchy scissors. And I'm like, oh, well, that's better. And she's like, no wonder you thought it was expensive. I'm like, yeah, I didn't know it came with the scissors. So it turned out to be a good deal. So I got the trick or treat chart, and I got the witchy scissors. So that's the last thing I got. So there's another thing that's on my list for next year, is to do one of the Prairie Schooler Halloween ones. I have several of them now. So my list for starts next year is like this long, and I'm probably only going to do like this many. So we'll see. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for Laurel's 2022 stitching. See what actually happens compared to what she plans. I think that's all I have. Work, they're transitioning us to 2 or 3 days a week in the office at the end of September. It's kind of good and bad. I've kind of I've always been lazy. I've gotten lazier than I already was. And so having to get up and go from my bed to my chair has been fantastic. Not having to commute has been fantastic. It hasn't really been so good for my work production. I work better in the office. I really do. But I'm going to miss being able to go from my bed to my chair every day. So they're reopening our building on October 1st to the public. The county issued an order stating that all county buildings were to reopen to the public on October 1st. So that's where we are. They had a meeting and they went through all the plans for COVID and work schedules and coverage, and so that's where we are with that. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get my stitchy bug to revive here and finish my Quaker game board. 1,600 projects, 1,600 stitches on one project honestly is pushing it a little bit for me. I did it in May with Raspberry Homecoming. I got to 1740 with Raspberry Homecoming, but once I get to 1,500, it starts to be a struggle, and those last stitches were a struggle. That was an event I was doing in semi-sane, the needleworker sweep, where I was supposed to get to 3,200. I didn't get to 3,200. I got to 1740, which was okay. But so 1,600 is a bit of a push for me, and we're almost halfway through the month, and I've done like I think I've done like 80 stitches so far this month. That's probably what I was doing a week ago Friday on virtual stitchers. Now that I think about it, so we'll see. But I'm so close. Like I can see the end. I'm so close. I just need to stitch instead of, scroll on my phone. Somebody put a thread up. The girls in virtual stitches were laughing at me for this, I'm sure. Somebody put a thread up in one, I think in the Hade group. I think it was in the Hade group about what do you do to stitch faster to, what tools do you use? What are your tips and tricks for stitching faster? Because, of course, Hades are large projects and they take a long time. And I said, stay off your phone. I would get so much more stitching done if I stayed off my phone. Right, Vicky? So, yeah, I'm going to try to revive my stitchy bug and finish my Quaker game board. Because I have plans for the next project. So, I need to hurry. Anyway, that's all I have. So, I hope y'all are having a good stitchy month. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Happy stitching. And I will see you next time. Bye.